Okay, I want to switch gears here a minute. There's another really important thing we started to talk about the other day, and that was about being a ghost or feeling invisible because you can't communicate and have autism. And some of the things that start to happen with communication. And one of the things that you were telling me about is that as a person with autism gets older, and for you, when you started to have communication, that you also began to have much more awareness of self versus being invisible or being a ghost or floating.
Oh, when I was younger and I was a ghost?
Yes.
Yeah, because I was a ghost.
So for a typical person who doesn't know much about what causes being a ghost.
Not being there. Like,
yeah. And
a
what
ghost
helps?
is like an entity that's there but not physically there.
So if you're not physically there, does that mean you're invisible? Nobody sees or notices you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm just, as for somebody, if they never heard this, then they need to know what it means. So when you started doing communication, did that stay the same or change?
It changed.
And
I wasn't all over. Like, I didn't know where I began and where I ended.
so if you were in a room with 4 other people, did you see that it was you in the room plus 4 other people when you were ghost-like or invisible?
No.
What did you experience?
I was listening to whatever was going on, so I wasn't really like there. I was wherever the conversation was at. Like
Did you know how many people, individuals, were in the room, or how did you think of it?
If there was be like 4 voices, then there were just 4 people in the room.
Mm-hmm. And you were one of them?
Sometimes I wasn't. I was a ghost, so I wasn't there really. There were 4 people in the room and I was a ghost. That's how.
So when you began to have some communication, what started to happen?
What happened is if I did things hurt me or things bothered me, like if I was feeling hungry, something was feeling hungry, like all of a sudden, I guess there was somebody else other than the other people in the room. Or like if somebody talking about me, I know she's making a beat now because she ate. I got this. There. Okay. Yeah. I know. It's going to be good. It's going to pass, and then you forget about it.
That's what you were starting to say before. Like you gave an example yesterday about whether somebody won the lottery or was told they had cancer and what it was like as a ghost versus what it would be like as you're starting to emerge with communication.
Like say the dolphin now, if you came and you told her she was going to, that she won the lottery or she was going to die of cancer, neither one of those statements would really mean much to her because it won't really change who she is, because she hasn't really taken a personal attachment to herself where it would really mean anything significantly, if that makes kind of sense.
Yes.
Like, it didn't matter if somebody thought I was like stupid or retarded, because it was like they thought Julie was stupid, and I didn't have a personal attachment to who Julie was at some point. See?
Yes.
It was just something that people talked about, and I only had a vague understanding that that person they were talking about was actually me.
And when you started to get more communication...
What bothered me sometimes with people, if they spoke to me, all of a sudden I had like someone in front of me, and that was unsettling because all of a sudden I wasn't all over the place anymore. I was in one place. Does that make sense?
Yes. And when you were in one place, of course, a person, if they're going to type, they have to be in one place.
Yes, and the more I was in one place,
because you have to know where your hands are, and you have to.
Yes, I had to remind myself too. That's why I tell the dolphin where her hands are at.
Because, so when you're in this transition, you're going from just being more like floating and invisible to being in your body, and then if it's hungry or something.
When it's hungry, then you have a sense of something happening.
And then when you started to go and be more present in your body as you began to type and do communication, was there more a sense that if you had a problem, say, with your health?
I had more of an attachment to who I was.
And what did that mean about things like getting a headache or getting sick?
Like 4 people in the room, then all of a sudden there was 5 people in the room, and that 5 person was actually me, and then that 5 person was the only person that I could control a movement from. Like before, when I was a ghost, then there would be only 4 people in the room. Then all of a sudden something would happen, say for example, and all of a sudden you realize there's a number 5 person in the room. Then you realize that you're the number 5 person in the room. Then you realize that the only person in the room that you can control is the number 5 person that happens to be you, kind of, see?
Yes.
And then sort of things like start organizing a lot more.
What does that do in terms of your anxiety? Does it
increase some?
And can you explain what about that change makes your anxiety increase? Because
then you're sort of almost stuck in one place, or like whatever happens to that 5th person is actually happening to you, kind of. You can't float away as much, and then that's when like your feelings could get hurt or something. Like if they said, "Oh, Julie is a pain and a drag, and what are we going to do? This is terrible," like, you know, and you're like, "Oh, gee, that's everybody's complaining about, you know." Then all of a sudden you realize, "Oh, that's me." See, yeah, like TV joking, like that was. You go, "Oh, ah."
Now, what about?
That's supposed to be like, that's emphasis, like, you know.
Empathy.
No, emphasis on the speech.
Okay.
I did it. You missed it?
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. I just was trying to get this.
How about now? There.
Yes.
You got it there?
Yes.
I try to put like, like upset in voice. See? No?
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Dolphin got it better than me. See, that's the thing. You say she's low functioning, but she's got the tones. She got the tones good. So even if you can't understand her English, you could understand her tones like in perfection, I believe.
The one place that I've heard your emotions the strongest, where your inflection in your voice seems spontaneous to me,
yes,
is when you talk about things like when you think you have understood the order of things, the rhythm, the inflection or the order, and you find out that you got it wrong. That's a how does that make you feel?
Upset.
Yes.
And then on that, you know, like.
That's also sound.
That's sound. But it's like, even though I can't see where you're at, I can hear where you're at. So I still know where you're at. Anyway, how you look,
so when you're at a keyboard, then every time you're switching from listening to seeing on the keyboard, It's hard
It's
because
everything. Don't you see? Like when
Yes.
I enter a room, I have to see where everything is at first, and I sound look like I'm ignoring everybody, but I need to know where everything is at, so I don't have to when I'm talking. I know.
Is Dolphin's tummy bothering her?
Yeah.
Should we stop and take a break?
Oh, I think she needs something to drink. Come here, I will touch your stomach.
Yeah. Because Dolphin, we also have drinks and lemonade and things.
Like, trying to think.
So
Like,
you're being very clear, just so you know. I'm just
Like,
getting all the tiny details.
like when I already know where your condo is, see? Like where everything is at. Because so I only have to half see it. See?
So how can I let you know if you're not looking at me much and we're talking, what are things that I can do to reassure you that I'm listening or understanding? By my voice, I guess, yes?
Somewhat, yeah.
Because you're not going to be looking at my face while we're talking.
Do I ever look at your face when we're talking?
That's a good question. I guess not. Sometimes today at breakfast, I thought I saw you looking across at me, but maybe we were being quiet. Or maybe it was yesterday. I thought I was looking over and you were wearing glasses, but it looked like you were looking at me.
Yes.
But maybe we had a quiet moment when we were eating or something.
Uh-huh. I have to do that though. You have to look at the person sometimes. For them, other people need it. So you have to sort of get used to go like that. Like.
What are some of the other cues you talked about today for how you would, like when you work with Dolphin, you show her some things to give typical people the idea that she wants to connect with them, and you were telling me some cues you do with your face. Can you show us some of those and tell us about what you do with Dolphin?
I tell her, because she likes people, and she wants people to pay attention to her, and I don't want her to be like invisible. And for her to get people to pay attention to her, she has to give them something that they will get their attention, and they are really like face lookers, so she has to like twitch her face around, like twitch like look or smile if she could. But not like that. She's an expert smiler, because when she smiles, people get all warm and guzzy, and when I smile, people tend to think I'm psychotic.
When you smile, is that to do social engagement or because of a feeling? Or both?
For people.
So if you were feeling very happy or excited, would your face be going into an expression from being very happy?
Yeah, I could pause. I laugh, and I could be like gleeful looking. I just look a little nuts, somewhat a little. Like, I don't know. Dolphin does that really good, though. She does that really good. I told her to do it, like to twitch it, like smile. when people say something to smile or to move her face, because they're real face lookers. And I think that when she started doing it, she got more attention, so that motivated her to do it more. So now she's like an expert smiler, because I started focusing on talking, and who has time to smile when you're trying to talk? But I guess that since she hasn't gotten like the voice thing yet, that she uses the smiling method more often. Because when I had speech, I could pump it out, as they say, that's pump it out, even though that really kind of doesn't make sense, but that's the phrase that they use to mean a certain thing. Anyhow, if she doesn't, her sounds don't come as clear as mine. Like if somebody says something, I could like repeat it somewhat as close. Like she's saying something now, but it's not coming so clear. Like it ain't really what someone would call English. I could understand it, doesn't mean other people could. And that's I have to be
Okay, take a break.
you have to go and that you have to put like a twinge, like a sharp, like like you have to put a sharp, like it has to go up sharp, like door slamming, see, kind of like door slamming in speech, sort of like
so
like those, like that. That's a rhythm, like
a pattern.
that's a pattern that you have to recognize and remember and reuse, and then you have to like practice. So you have to be, when you're upset, this is the pattern you have to follow to make it a complete pattern. Like
To communicate.
Yeah, because there's speech and then there's like speech in speech, like
Rhythm,
see,
pattern.
like speech, like the emphasis you have to. Now there's a certain pattern that you follow, like when you're trying to get a point. So you have to rise up, rise down. Sometimes it draws out, and then a certain feeling that you're trying to convey has to have a certain pattern following it.
So
And then there's this pattern. So these are the words that would mean this feeling, but it's not enough to use those words to convey that feeling. You have to get the rhythm, the pattern of the rhythm to fit that. So you have to say it almost like both ways. Like you could say it and then you have to say it again. Like I am so angry, but then it's not enough to say I am so angry. You have to make it go up, down, and sharp. Like it has to be like, yeah. She Dolphin knows how to do it real good. You see, like when she's go like that. So you have to put that in that. So you can't just say I am upset. You have to go I am upset. Like, but then you have to smooth out the edges. Like there's like the when the sound moves in like waves. Like the ocean, the water moves in waves. You have to smooth it out where it would come out, like not so, like where it's not like the water doesn't just go, it goes, yeah, I don't know if I'm losing it.
it's called, what you're saying with smoothing with waves, another word for that might be cadence.
Yeah.
There are musical things like that. I have to change tape though, so hold on a sec. There are